We're going to be showing the Anas expose, BBC Africa Eye on Anas Aremeyaw Anas expose, cashing in on COVID-19 PPEs. All right. Well, so you saw that. There's a lot of questions in my mind right now. There's a lot of questions in my mind. And, well, Ridge Hospital also had a response to all of this. And they have suspended some 2 people since this has happened. But we have Anas with us. Anas? Can you hear?
Good morning.
Morning, how are you?
Loud. I'm good.
Fantastic. So, as far as this documentary is concerned, what's your biggest challenge with the way the system has run? Is it more the sale of PPEs, that is private people's PPEs in the system? Or in other words, profiting from the fact that there's an ecosystem within which they can do business, or criminal acts by individuals taking away from what government is providing. What's your general takeaway from all of this?
Well, I think it's very clear. First of all, I have to thank viewers, because just yesterday we had over 500,000 views, and then today is getting close to 1 million. It tells you how interested people are in issues like this that affect all of us. Let's not forget where we came from. When this documentary the investigation was done, we were within the first 50 to 100 cases. So it tells you that was way back.
Okay, so that's around April?
Yes.
Okay.
There was self-introspection. It is not today where you can see some of these PPEs
all
everywhere.
over. Okay.
It's not the same. Now, I get a bit uncomfortable, and I'm glad that City yourselves, you've done a bit more on Ridge Hospital and the issues that crop up. Apart from my film, where they've come to admit that the 2 people have been suspended and all that, I have never seen any issue that has been raised by Ridge Hospital where they've come to accept. They are always playing this game or that game. But let me clarify the issues much better for you. So we go into a hospital, we get 2 people. One is Divine, who is in charge of locally made masks by the hospital themselves. And the statement is very silent on him. But they have admitted to us that indeed it is true that Divine stole nose mask that was meant for the staff of the hospital.
Okay, Anas, so I don't want to cut you off, but I think for the benefit of our viewers, we should read the statement from Ridge Hospital since we are referencing it. So we are going to put it up and then read it with our viewers. Ridge Hospital suspends 2 staff for administrative malpractice. The Greater Akua Regional Hospital, Ridge, has suspended 2 of its staff for engaging in administrative malpractices, which has the tendencies of tarnishing the image of the hospital. These officers were caught by BBC Investigative Team Africa Eye selling personal protective equipment belonging to a private individual within the premises of the hospital, even though these items do not belong to the hospital and does not also constitute the hospital's COVID-19 stock, either donated or procured. The action constitutes a breach of Ghana Health Service Code of Conduct. They go on to say, as a hospital, we do not encourage these behaviors since it may adversely affect their output and also be misconstrued by the public as items of the facility. The suspended officers are, goes on to mention their names, Thomas Osei, medicine counter assistant, and Divine Komoji of the sewing unit of the hospital. Thomas Osei is serving a 2-week suspension without salary for inappropriate and unauthorized sale of PPEs on the hospital premises, whilst Mr. Divine Komoji would refund all monies realized with regards to unauthorized and inappropriate sale of face masks on the hospital premises. He is also serving 2-week suspension without salary. Management, okay, so you can see the rest. So, Anas, we get the idea, but they're saying a few things in this release. They are saying that what the two gentlemen sold did not belong to the hospital. Neither were they part of the items procured or donated by hospital. And to the hospital. Your thoughts on this?
Yes, that's what they said. As an investigative journalist, when you are confronted with this, what do? You go and cross-check. So you go to the person they claim they bought the PPE from. And if you watch the film, you realize that the person was there clearly. He said that no individual had come to him to order for a PPE, and that it was Rich Hospital that had come to their facility to request for PPEs. So it's very clear that this individual, whatever the hospital is saying, does not add up, because the persons that where the things were bought, they have been very categorical that indeed all these items were purchased by the hospital. Then, as an investigative, what do you do? What are you? You scrutinize the receipts. What receipts do they have? And it was very clear to us that people told us that they had come for backdated receipts. What else should we do? I mean, for me, it's very clear. I mean, if you watch the film, the facts are there. And I do not begrudge Rich for their statement. I was expecting them to say so because of their track record. When you study it carefully, you know what they are likely to say. So I'm not surprised at all. But if you watch the film, like I said, and again, I direct everybody to the BBC website and also to watch City TV for the film. The facts are there. Nobody will prevent Rich from saying what they are saying, but we'll put whatever Rich says side by side, the evidence we have got. Then one can make sense out of the whole situation. So for us, it's a great story. We stand by it. We think that if the people have not committed anything, Rich won't even attempt to even suspend them.
So, Anas, as far as the comments that people are making are concerned, that you've gone out on a limb here. I've read some things this morning that you've gone out on a limb here to make the hospital, to make the situation look as though there's been something criminal that has gone on, but at best this is unethical. What do you say to those people?
Well, we do not make rules that govern hospitals. We are in the business of investigation. Now, if somebody steals PPE that is supposed to belong to his colleagues, that's our story. PPE belonging to a hospital, that's our story. We have been very categorical in the film.
Yeah.
And we have gone further to check everything in the film. Told you about backdated receipts. We have also told you clearly about the fact that these items, the owners who they claim they bought it from, said the hospital. They didn't say an individual. So Rich Hospital, again, will be entitled to their opinion. We don't begrudge it at all, but we have been in this game for so many years. And to be honest, I was expecting Rich to even deny that those people had committed any crime. I was surprised when they actually came out to accept that the two had committed a crime. And like I said, you have done stories. I've listened to many of the human rights stories you've done on Rich Hospital. Tell me, how many of them have they come to admit? None. And I think that it's about time somebody does something about Rich Hospital. Really, it doesn't look like things are going on well in that hospital. And again, if it is selling within private premises, does it have to take the BBC Africa Eye to come and tell them to look at their staff involved in more practices? Certainly not. So, like I said, we stand on our story. We are happy. The numbers are great. And then that's not the end. Something will be around the corner.
Okay. So, watching the documentary, I think Dr. Hadi noticed some of the PPEs there and said they belonged to the hospital. Was there any due diligence your team did to confirm that indeed the PPEs you received were manufactured by the Rich Hospital team or belonged to the hospital?
Now, there are two things here. You see, the nose masks were sold in the hospital. They were done in the hospital. And when you watch the video, you see the background.
They were manufacturing them, yeah.
Sewing. Yes, the guy is sewing and selling Mm-hmm. So there's no dispute about that. Where they say Thomas Osei bought his own personal thing and came to sell. We've been there. The people have been very categorical that, look, we sold it to Rich Hospital. So we don't know any individual. The receipt bear the name of Rich Hospital. So if anybody comes to say that we've sold to an individual, no. What else should an investigative journalist do? So we leave it to you. You watch, then you judge.
Going back at the time you did this film, April, we didn't have the kind of PPEs we have now. We didn't know what was going to happen. We had seen what was happening in other countries. What were you feeling as you were doing this? Your team was conducting this documentary.
Terrible. Terrible. And I was very sad that in spite of all the issues that we had the consistent press releases and address to the nation by the president, people within these premises. And you see, it was around the same time you guys were doing this medical negligence and all that about Rich Hospital. So I asked myself, how can one hospital, there's this scandal, there's that scandal, there's that, as if there's no management. I was scandalized that all this will be happening under one roof. This is, it was very uncomfortable. And else, you see, the key thing we ought to know is that people die as we play with these issues. If nose masks meant for your own colleagues, some in the surgical department, some in the maternity, first 100 that you sow, you sell it out. Where are we heading towards as a nation? It's sometimes very, very difficult to take some of these things in as you investigate. But what else should we do? That's our job. We are the fourth estate of the realms. We've got to always push the frontiers. We've got to always bring out these issues so that we can address them.
One of the nurses you spoke to made interesting comment that she literally attends to COVID patients. She knows they are positive. She's attending to them without coveralls. What is your hope or aspiration, expectation that after this investigative piece that should happen within the larger system of our healthcare?
I think the key lesson to take from it is that the supply of PPEs in Accra does not automatically mean that it has trickled down to all the villages. We have to have more flexible systems that allow donated or government-bought PPEs to descend down to the hinterlands. Also, I realize that there is no effective mechanism to track things that are sent to the Ghana Health Service. And I think that these are the takeaway things that I got, that if we could track everything we sent, then it means that we will be sure that it will get to the end user. Because Ghana is not only Accra. Yeah. Ghana is Tamalit, Ghana is Boku, Ghana is Hohoi, Ghana is everywhere. So if we can get our acts together in Accra, it doesn't mean that in Kumasi, Kwadaso, or Bechem, or what's the name of this place we went to? Bekwai. It doesn't mean that things are going on well. So good intentions, we have supplied the things, but how do we ensure that these things go into the hinterlands? I think these are the key things I took from this investigation.
Thank you so much, Anas Aremeyaw Anas, for being with us.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, and kudos for the good job you're doing.
You too.
Thank you.
Hi there. We hope you enjoyed the show.
Make sure to subscribe, like, comment, and share with your friends.
This is Breakfast Daily on City TV.
Join the Breakfast Daily team Monday through Fridays from 7:30 a.m. to 10. Join us for breakfast daily, only on City TV.